Hercules. When you hear that name, what comes to mind? Probably a god among men, right? Battling mythical beasts, shaking the very earth. But what if that whole story was just that? A legend, a really, really good marketing campaign. Well, today, we're going to tear down that myth to find the actual man behind it all. And this quote right at the top just throws down the gauntlet. It's basically telling us to forget the bedtime stories we thought we knew. It's hinting that the epic tale we've all heard might just be a cover for a much darker and, frankly, a much more human reality. So, before we can really dig into the man, we have to understand the brand, the story that's been sold for centuries. This is the Hercules of legend, the superstar, the one and only son of Zeus. Now, the absolute core of this brand is his status as a demigod, half human, half god. And look, this isn't just some fun trivia point. It's everything. It's the source of his supposedly limitless power, the easy explanation for all his impossible feats. It's what makes him more than just a man. So what does our demigod do with all this power? He performs the 12 labors. And these aren't just odd jobs, okay? These are epic, world-changing trials. We're talking slaying the unkillable Nemean lion, battling the multi-headed Hydra. These stories are designed to build a reputation of pure invincibility. It's the ultimate hero resume, but not everyone's buying it. And here we go. This is the central conflict in a nutshell. For every single person who buys into the legend, who thinks every word is true, there's a skeptic in the back yelling, "What a load of crap." And it's right here, in this tension between the myth and the reality, that our real story gets started. All right, let's pull back the curtain now. Forget the son of a god fighting for divine glory. It's time to meet the man behind the marketing, Hercules, the mercenary. This slide right here lays out the whole deception. The legend says he's the son of Zeus. The reality? He's immortal, and a pretty haunted one at that. The legend says he fights alone. The truth? He leads a tight-knit team. Divine power? Nope, just pure human strength and some really good strategy. And maybe the biggest difference of all, he's not fighting for glory, he's fighting for gold. He is a soldier of fortune. And this is absolutely crucial. Hercules is not a one-man army. He's more like the charismatic frontman for a band of elite mercenaries. You've got Autolycus, the strategist, Tydeus, the absolute berserker, Atalanta, the deadly archer, Amphiaraus, the seer, but maybe the most important member of the whole crew is the last one, his nephew, Iolaus, the storyteller. And here's why he's so important. Iolaus spells out their entire business model. The legend isn't just a story, it's a weapon. He's the one-man PR department, hyping the myth to make their enemies so terrified of the son of Zeus that they pretty much surrender before the battle even starts. It's psychological warfare, plain and simple. Okay, so we've got our team of mercenaries, and they're using a powerful legend to get paid. Let's see how this whole operation plays out on their next gig, a high-stakes civil war in the kingdom of Thrace. So here's the deal. Their client is a guy named Lord Codus. His objective for them is to defeat a warlord named Rhesus, who supposedly commands an army of, get this, monsters. The catch? The army Hercules gets is a bunch of untrained farmers. But the motivation? A massive payday, their literal weight in gold. So how do you turn farmers into soldiers? Not with divine intervention, that's for sure. You do it with discipline and teamwork. And Hercules' core lesson is the shield wall. See, this isn't about one hero doing all the work. It's about unity. It symbolizes the entire truth of his operation. Strength doesn't come from the gods. It comes from the person standing right next to you. So the team trains the army, they fight, and they win. Contract fulfilled. The job should be done. But just when they think they can collect their pay and leave, the story takes a really dark turn. The mission was never what it seemed. And this is the question that just unravels everything. They were hired to stop this monster, Rhesus, who was supposedly terrorizing the countryside. But after they capture him, Hercules learns that Rhesus wasn't the one doing it, which leads to a terrifying realization. If the enemy isn't the enemy, then who is? Well, the shocking answer is their own employer, Lord Codus. He's the true tyrant. Rhesus was actually leading a rebellion of the people against him. The mercenaries realize, to their horror, that they haven't been saving Thrace. They've been helping to enslave it. And then, just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets deeply personal. Copsi's ally, King Eurystheus, reveals the truth behind the tragedy that has haunted Hercules for years. That whole story about his family being killed, it turns out Eurystheus drugged Hercules and had wolves do it, all to make it look like Hercules went mad and did it himself. It was a setup to destroy his reputation and get him out of the way. So the gold is sitting there, the contract is technically over, and all the lies are exposed. Now, stripped of his mission, stripped of his legend, Hercules has to decide who he really is. And this is the ultimate test. They can take their life-changing payment and just walk away, leaving the people of Thrace to suffer, or they can stay and fight for what's right, a fight they almost certainly will not survive and one they definitely will not get paid for. But in this moment, the team proves they are so much more than mercenaries. Autolycus speaks for all of them. Their loyalty isn't about debt or gold. It's about a bond that was forged in battle. They're a family, and they will not abandon each other, and they will not abandon the innocent. This is his final transformation. You can see it clear as day. He stops running from the memory of his family and confronts the man responsible. He stops hiding behind the myth of a demigod and fully embraces his strength as a man. He goes from a mercenary fighting for gold to a true hero fighting for justice. This question is actually hurled at him as an insult by his enemy. It's meant to break him, to remind him that he's just a man. But instead of breaking him, it becomes his rallying cry. He has to finally answer, for himself and for everyone else, what he truly stands for. And his answer isn't a speech. It's this roar of pure defiance. As he performs a feat of truly impossible strength, toppling a colossal statue to save an innocent person, it's not because he's the son of Zeus. It's because he is Hercules, a man pushing past every mortal limit he has, all for the sake of others. In that one moment, he becomes the hero the legend only ever pretended he was. And that leaves us with this final thought. This whole story tears down the myth of a demigod only to build up the reality of a true hero. It suggests that maybe what we truly need isn't supernatural saviors. Maybe what we really need are just ordinary people willing to do extraordinary things. Heroes whose strength and sacrifice we can